Are you an idiot? Well, you're in good company. There are about 8 billion idiots on this planet, and that number grows every day. Don't be the guy or gal that says, "I'm not an idiot," because that makes you the biggest idiot of all. We all have our moments of brilliance and our moments of idiocy. Embrace it, folks. Don't be ashamed. Without those idiot moments, we would never be able to appreciate our brilliance. Welcome to I Love My Idiot, a podcast about the idiots we love, the idiots we loathe, and the idiots we can't seem to avoid. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Visit our website at ilovemyidiot.com.
Welcome to another episode of I Love My Idiot.
I'm your equal host, Clyde November.
And I'm Rosie November.
And we're thrilled to have you today. Although, Rosie, I have something to tell you about. You're not going to be happy about this.
Yeah.
Seamus stopped by earlier tonight. He brought me another black baby Jesus.
Oh, wait, he actually got you another black baby Jesus?
Yes, but he thought it was ours. Apparently, the guy's not caught up, so the last thing he heard was that black baby Jesus was missing. He was at a light show and saw a black baby Jesus and was convinced someone stole it.
Oh.
So he stole it from them and just gave it to me.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was like, Seamus, you got to stay caught up. Like, we already found black baby Jesus. Black baby Jesus
what are we
is
gonna
back
do?
in the manger.
Seriously, what are we going to do?
I'm thinking just keep it for a backup in case those teenagers steal black baby Jesus again.
No, we can't keep it. Somebody's missing their baby Jesus right now.
I asked him to return it. He said no.
Okay, did he at least give you an address where it was from so we can return it?
I did not ask.
Well, I cannot believe that we have started this criminal thing of stealing baby Jesuses at this point.
Hopefully, they didn't have security cameras at this light show or anything. It's at a business.
Oh my gosh.
So, you know, they deck out their whole building with lights. And for some reason, he thought a business would have stolen our baby Jesus, even though we clearly were leaning toward blaming teenagers in the neighborhood.
Well, he also brought his big black dog for us to babysit for 10 days.
That's true. Half German Shepherd, half, what?
Bigfoot? He's gigantic.
Yeah.
And very hairy, and we are watching him for like 10 days. So he brought a couple of black things by today.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should probably take the opportunity that if you are missing your black baby Jesus, please reach out to us at ilovemyidiot.com.
So something happened to me when I went to the store today. Mm-hmm. A man approached me, and he said, "Hey, how's the weather up there?" Here's the thing. I'm tall.
Yeah.
But I'm not tall enough where I get, like, tall jokes frequently. But I've got them enough in my life where someone will say some kind of, you know, tall joke toward me. And usually the go-to tall joke is, "What's the weather like up there?"
Yeah.
Right?
That's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, I was
very creative.
Yeah.
You know?
And the great thing is everybody that says it thinks they're a genius. Like,
they
just came up with
I was
this.
the first.
That's like when Boomer and I used to work in this fabric shop and we used to have to move rugs. Every customer we would move rugs for would say, "Oh, at least you don't have to go to the gym." And then they would all just, like, laugh to themselves as if they were, like, a genius. And we're like, dude, we've heard that joke from everybody. Right? So this man says to me, "How's the weather up there?" And I turned to him ready to, like, practically fight, right? Because I don't...
You are such a freaking liar. You have never fought anybody.
That's not true.
Outside of war.
That's not true. I got into a fight at a church camp when I was in 12th grade. But that's a story for another
Seriously.
day. Anyways, so I turned to this guy and I'm like, all right, who's the joker that's trying to, like, make me feel embarrassed about being tall? I'm not that tall. I'm only 6'2". The guy was like 6'1". So I was confused. I was like, why is this tall guy making tall jokes towards me when I'm just barely taller than him?
Yeah.
Because usually the people that make tall jokes are people that are self-conscious about being really short. So I was confused and I said, "What?" And he said, "You know, out in the mountains." And I was like, What are you talking about?" And then it hit me.
Oh my gosh.
He thought I had just come back from the woods based off of my appearance. Now, let me explain. It's Spirit Week at school.
Yeah.
today was pajama day. So I'm wearing these red plaid pajama pants.
Yeah, you look ridiculous. Like, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. I've got a green shirt that's made of that, like, long underwear material, you know? I don't know, like Long John's material.
Just trust me, I'm looking right at it.
Yeah, and then I got one of those, like, Canadian-style hats. I don't even know if they're Canadian, but one of those weird Canadian-style hats that
have the flaps over the ears.
Flaps that hang down, right?
I've seen
so
it.
I was wearing that, and it, like, dawned on me, like, oh, this guy thinks I was legitimately in the woods. So I told him, no, I'm not. I wasn't in the woods. This is just the way I look.
Yeah, you were like, I look ridiculous like this all day long.
Yeah, this is just me, dude. I'm sorry. And yeah, he gave me a real disappointed look, like he thought I was special or something.
You're used to that, though. I mean, you're married to me, so...
Yeah, you give me that look far too often.
Not true. That's not true. I love you, Clyde. I can't help it. You're very charming, even when you look ridiculous like you do today.
And I do most days. Now, every single day in the month of December, I have worn a Christmas sweater so far. It's my goal to make it through the entire month. Everyone else in the school only does it the last week before Christmas. I'm now known as the Christmas spirit guy.
Yeah, you have a lot of Christmas spirit.
Totally. Anyways, I decided when it's time to take my class picture, I'm going to wear a Christmas sweater so that everyone in my class can remember the epic month where I wore a Christmas sweater every single day.
Do they allow that because I think those pictures go into some sort of like
database?
Yes.
They go in the yearbook.
I'm not
for
sure that they're going to allow you to wear a Christmas sweater for your work photo.
I'm just going to do it. I'm going to run it by my boss, of course, because I don't want to get fired. But I'm just going to do it because I think it would be epic. And my students need to remember the teacher that wore Christmas sweaters, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, speaking of being remembered, we actually have a very special guest today. We're really excited to have her.
Now, this is a strange occurrence for us because every guest we've ever had, we've known fairly well.
Yeah.
I mean, Marissa was our massage therapist. You knew her better than me because you'd been seeing her longer than me.
Right.
But we have sitting at the idiot desk right now with us a complete stranger.
Yeah. And she reached out to us because she is our new super fan. And we talked about her last week and she was like, hey, I'm going to be in Denver and I have to meet you guys. And so we're like, sure, come over. We're recording our podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Marnie from Pittsburgh. We dedicated our last episode to her. And as far as I'm concerned, she specifically bought a plane ticket to come visit us and be on the podcast. Because you did say in that episode that she was welcome anytime.
I did, you know. I mean, her family does live close by and Christmas is coming. So I'm not going to say either way. But welcome to the show, Marnie.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
We're so glad to have you.
We are.
We've never had a super fan on the show before.
Well, I'm happy to be the first.
So why do you like our show? Like, why are you our number 3 super fan?
It started, as you mentioned before, with someone talking about your podcast. I have a lot of time on my hands.
Yeah.
I'm an intern, and I have to do a 600-hour internship. And they don't have a lot for me to do. So while I definitely enjoy the podcast, I also just have a lot of time to listen.
I see. Looking to fill your time. I mean, we'll take it. We'll take what we can get, you know?
No, it's super funny. I love it. And yeah, it fills the time at the internship.
Does it make the time pass? Like faster than, you know?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
So I think you are the first person to listen to 25 hours of Clyde and Rosie in less than a week.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
600 hours at an internship.
And it was funny when we were talking before the show, you said that you listened to it on like hyper speed, so we sounded like chipmunks the whole time.
Yeah, if nobody has heard Rosie's laugh in 2 times the speed, you should probably try it out sometime.
You need to enjoy that. Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, we're so happy that you listen, you know. We are new at podcasting. I mean, we've been doing it since June. And honestly, when we went into this, we just thought we would have a good time, right? We were just going to tell our stories. If anybody listened, they did. If they didn't, they didn't, right? But to have a fan like you actually reach out to us. And plus, you call Clyde out on his bullshit all the time, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, you got to stop doing that, Marnie.
Yeah.
It hurts my feelings.
And I mean, we just feel so blessed that you're listening and that you love it.
And I felt so excited when I was your little spotlight last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, I need to come and be on their podcast.
Oh man. Well, it just goes to show we actually do read our emails.
That's right.
We don't always respond, but when Marnie was like, "Hey, I'm going to be in the area." We were like, "Okay." And Clyde and I had to talk about it. Like, do we trust a complete stranger in our house? Like, do we do this somewhere else because we have taken the podcast on the road before? But man, we let you come right into the house. I mean,
right
you
into the
saw
house.
baby Jesus on your way in.
I did.
I mean, he's padlocked, but
Yeah, we're
It's
putting a lot
awesome.
of faith that you're not going to like murder us in the middle of the night. So
yeah.
Well, I know your address now, so
I mean, it's
watch
true.
out.
I think you're the only fan who knows our address. So congratulations. That's exciting.
Well, I showed up and I saw the dog and I was like, there's no way. This
Yeah,
is
this
the
is
right
not the
house.
right-
They're totally tricking me.
This is actually a complete stranger's house, and
Yeah.
you're just gonna like make a fool of yourself. That would be hilarious.
You're recording me knocking on the
Yeah.
door. Yeah.
It would be funny if we had sent her to our neighbor Anne's house, who's like 95 years
Oh,
old.
jeez.
And she'd be like, ugh.
which you wouldn't understand, Anne. She speaks with such a heavy
She
accent.
does. She's German.
I've known her my whole life. I still don't understand a word she says.
Yeah. So your favorite episode is the pickle episode.
Yes. I
And-
love the pickle episode.
Is that because you're from Pittsburgh and they have like parties around pickles? Or?
Absolutely. Yeah. Pittsburgh has an entire festival called Picklesburg. And
Nice.
they pickle everything.
What's your favorite thing pickled?
I think just the traditional pickle.
Yeah. Like, are we talking sweet pickle?
No.
Dill. It's
It's
gotta be a
Definitely
dill
not
gotta be
sweet.
dill.
Yeah.
Good. She
That
can
was
be
actually
friends.
a test.
Yeah.
You passed.
Yeah.
You were about to kick me out of your
Yes.
house.
You can be friends with us because you like the dill pickle because sweet pickles should have never been made.
I agree.
Yeah.
I also like banana peppers. Do you like
Ooh.
those?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are pretty
On a
good. Those
salad?
are pickled,
Pickles.
right?
Yeah. Ooh, I love banana peppers. I actually like a lot of things pickled. I also really like beets pickled. I know that seems
I'm not into the
weird.
beets pickled. And like
Yeah.
the juice is like blood. That's what it always reminds
Yeah.
me of.
No.
I can't do
I guess it's
pickled
just Rosie
beets.
on the beets.
Yep, you're on an island there.
Well, I grew up eating canned beets.
Oh.
Oh, that
Yeah.
is disgusting. So beets are just ruined for me.
Did your mom actually can them
No.
herself?
No. Store bought.
That sounds horrible. At my
Yeah.
school, whenever there was like a food drive or something like that, I would always go through the pantry and try to find like the canned beets, the canned green beans, and just donate those.
Same.
And then my mom would like freak out and be like, "Where's our beets?"
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know.
And then those beets would come to my house through the food bank. And I would be like, these beets are delicious. Because you know what? Beets beat out. That rhymes. Beets beat out. They beat out mystery meat every time.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, you can live off a can of beets for like a whole week.
But what about canned spinach? Do you ever get that?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not really a
That's
spinach fan.
horrid.
Although, I know this sounds really weird, but I do like spinach with apples. And I don't know if it's like a sweet and sour thing that's going on. But I did this diet where I thought I was almost going to die because it was like a Dr. Oz cleanse. And one of the things that he said that I could eat was spinach with apples as like a dessert. And I was thinking, like, who would do this? This sounds horrible. And spinach I've always thought was kind of gross, you know. Something about chopping up an apple when you're about to die and putting spinach in it.
Now that diet, the main course was boil a thing of cabbage and then drink the water. So that's
Yeah.
what she was eating for dinner was cabbage water. It was disgusting and it smelled bad.
I tell you what, it was a cleanse though, because I
Yeah.
lived in the bathroom for like
Oh,
5
yeah.
days. It was bad.
you
I lost
were-
8 pounds in 3 days.
Yeah, I bet. Cabbage water isn't going to do much for you.
Not a lot of calories in cabbage water.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
The whole time I was like, I think you can up your caloric intake slightly. That's a little weird.
It worked, and then as soon as I was done, I gained it all back, like, in 2 weeks, maybe less.
Interesting that cabbage water might not be a, sustainable
it works, but the thing
program.
is after you're done with something like that, you go back to eating the normal crap you always eat, and then you're back to where you started. So
yeah,
I've actually lost 30 pounds since like a little over a year ago. It's had to be a complete lifestyle change. It couldn't just be like a diet or,
Yeah.
I miss cookies. You know what I mean? It's Christmas time.
Well, I eat enough for both of us.
Yeah.
Because
I think I was actually nicer when I ate more carbs, too. I feel like I've become kind of mean, because I'm hungry all the time,
That makes sense.
I call you an idiot a lot more now than I ever did before. It could be the podcast, but it could also be the non-eating.
I'm becoming more of an idiot the older I get, too.
We got a lot going against us.
I know.
For sure.
Between your diet and my old age.
Yeah.
It's a bad combination.
Totally. So, Marnie, do you have any idiots in your life?
Oh, do I? So, you know how you guys usually do, like, the idiot spotlight, and it has a category of sorts, like a driver or at the airport.
Uh-huh.
Well, my dad is in a category of his own.
Really?
We could do this whole podcast on him.
I love it.
There are countless stories, but the best one... So I grew up on a farm, and we had a lot of cats. At one point, we counted all of them. There were 27.
Oh my gosh. That is a lot of cats.
Yes.
Were these just like strays that would come to the farm, or did you guys legitimately buy them?
Could you pet the cats, or were they like
Most
feral?
of them were wild, yeah. And as little kids, we would like go and find the baby kittens, and we would play with them so that they would be our friends. So we would train a few of them to be nice to us.
Yeah.
But 27 cats. And my mom would feed them every night, so I think that didn't help. Like, all of our table scraps, she's like, okay, yeah, let's feed the cats. So the problem was the cats decided that our yard was their litter box. If you can imagine 27 cats pooping in one spot,
Ugh.
it's bad.
That sounds really stinky.
Yes. So my dad comes up with this invention, a motion-censored fire alarm.
Oh my gosh.
He's going to scare the cats away with a motion-censored fire alarm.
Oh my gosh.
And if I remember right, he set it up on a Saturday night or something. He was going to test it out on Sunday. And so he plugs it all in. I don't even know how he made this thing.
Oh my gosh.
But he plugs it all in. We go to church. We come home. And the firemen are there.
Oh
and
my
the
gosh.
police officers are there.
They're like, what is wrong with you? You were such an idiot.
Somebody, one of our neighbors, had called because they were like, there is a fire alarm going off at this house. The thing about this motion sensor was that it picked up everything.
Yeah.
The wind blew and a piece of grass moved and that fire alarm was going off.
Oh my gosh. Did it scare the cats?
I think for a little bit, but then they just got used to it.
Yeah, they're like, whatever. This is a noisy house, but we live here.
Yeah, but we're still going to poop right here. So his next invention is a motion-censored sprinkler.
Okay.
This guy's really into his motion sensor stuff.
Over water.
Yes. Anything to get the cats out of here.
Oh my gosh.
So now we have a motion censored sprinkler, and it's spraying all the cats, and it's spraying us every time we walk in our house.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't know what eventually happened to that thing, but he finally took it all apart. My mom probably.
Yeah, she'd had it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So that is the most idiotic thing he's done. Well, that's hard to say. There's maybe a few other things.
Oh my gosh. Did he ever think about trying to, catch the cats and then taking them away?
He took them away in his own way.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want me to finish this, Rosie.
This is going in a dark direction.
I'm very sensitive about the lives of animals, so I think we maybe don't finish that.
But you got to defend your
saying
farm, right?
that you can catch cats and then, maybe find homes for them. Or
yes,
there are probably 27 people in the valley that might want to, adopt your cats. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I do know that the Humane Society came to our house one time.
Uh-huh.
But it was maybe only one time.
Because they were like, these cats are crazy. We can't catch them. They're mean.
Yes.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of resale value on a cat that's lived outdoors on a farm its whole life. I don't know.
I can imagine.
I don't see that being a thing.
So does he still have a cat problem, or?
It's gotten better. Mm-hmm. My mom stopped feeding him.
Oh,
so
that helps.
That was a big plus. We have less mice in our house now because the cats are, they have to find their own food. So that's also good.
That is good. Oh my gosh.
So when I grew up, my backyard was bordering a cornfield and just acres and acres of farmland and stuff. And so we would always get mice that would come from the field and enter our house. Now, my mom was anti any animal. But we actually had cats for a while for that reason, and I just thought my mom went through like a cool period, It wasn't until later that I realized
they were actually utility cats.
Yeah, it was like, no, this is because I hate mice a little bit more than I hate cats, so I'll tolerate the cat for, the mouse problem.
Dude, I'd almost rather have the corn farm than the peeping Tom that lives in our backyard. Yeah. So our house, sits a little bit lower than his house. And he can see directly into my bedroom. Constantly, I'm just staring at him from my bedroom window seriously, guy, just stop. And I try to keep the shade closed, but little Rosie pops it up because she wants to see outside. And pretty soon I'm naked walking out of my bathroom. And old man Winters across the backyard is just getting a peep show,
staring.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's a horrible environment that I'm in here.
I walk naked by the window all the time. He never looks at me. He never takes a second look.
He's not into boys. What can I say?
I'm not sure why.
He likes the ladies.
I am a physical specimen, so.
Yeah. I know that's why I married you,
Because you're shallow and you just were so.
Yeah, I mean, had I known you were going to lose all your hair, I may have made another choice. But,
Marnie, I need you to vouch for me. I still have hair, right?
Yeah.
You still have hair. It's hair. A little thin.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be
Marnie.
on my side.
Thanks, Marnie.
But it's still there.
This is why I love Marnie. She calls you out. Yeah. It's not just online. We got to speak for, maybe an hour before we started recording. And man, this girl, she's poked holes all over your stories.
She kind of reminds me of you in that way.
Yeah.
She kind of reminds me of Claudia.
Dashingly beautiful. I know. She's taller than me, though. You have those long legs. I really believe that someday I'm going to go to heaven and I'm going to be issued my long legs, I can hardly get through that without laughing. But seriously, when I get to heaven, God's going to be like, you were such a good girl on earth that now you get your long legs.
And he's going to issue me the athletic ability.
Yeah.
That, clearly I wasn't given in this
and maybe
life.
More hair.
Hey. Not cool.
Bring it back to the hair.
She always brings it back to the hair. Trust me.
Yeah. Poor Clyde. It's hard to be married to a Rosie.
It is. In fact, last week we had my good friend Joel Nert on the podcast, and he pointed something out to me once. He said that the reason I am a never nude for my feet is because of you bashing on my feet all the time. He's like, no wonder. He's like, because
I've conditioned you.
Yeah, totally.
Keep those puppies covered. Yeah.
So you're conditioning me in a lot of ways,
Yeah. Have you ever heard of this idiot Joel Nert?
I have. Yes. I've watched his videos.
Oh my gosh. What's your favorite Joel Nert video?
It's a really old one.
Uh-huh.
My favorite one is where he takes all of his junk mail and
Yeah.
he sends it back to the people who sent it. Have you seen this one? He like collects random crap from around his house and he puts it in their
That's hilarious.
paid postage envelope and just sends it back to them.
Nice.
That's hilarious.
I've never tried it, but I want to.
That is so smart. Like, why aren't we all doing this to the junk mail people?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He's brilliant. He's an idiot, but he's brilliant.
Yes.
My favorite Joel Nert video by far is blowing up the anthills with
yeah.
dynamite. And not because he's like, because, you know, I have a fondness for all things living. So including ants, I feel like they probably should not be blown up with dynamite.
Yeah.
But I love when the one ant is crawling up his camera because I'm like, he's been defeated. You know, I don't think many ants lost their lives in his experiment there. But that one ant was the best thing that I have ever seen in my whole life. It was kind of like watching this idiot blow up anthills, but the ants are like, I'm still here, guy.
We win.
Yeah, the ants won for sure.
If you haven't checked out Joel Nert's YouTube channel, make sure you go check it out. He's a good guy. He's a good friend
And
of mine.
Clyde is on there. Like,
That's
he
right.
makes an appearance.
Have you seen my appearance?
I
Yeah.
have.
What'd you think of the Christmas sweater?
Loved it.
Thank you.
And I loved the prank.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that it went on for 13 years.
Neither can I, and honestly, I thought the prank was done and over. I thought he had found it and was almost messing with me by never saying anything. So, you know, I was glad to get some closure on that. But here's the thing about that prank. And if you haven't seen it, you're going to have no idea what I'm talking about. So you need to go watch the video on Joel Nert's channel that I'm featured on.
Yeah.
However, here's the thing about the prank. As he was leaving that night that we recorded the podcast, he hid the wrench somewhere in my house. And he's convinced that I never found it.
Oh.
Well, Joel Nert, I did find the wrench. But have you found the wrench? It lives on. The prank lives on. Go find it. Go
It's
search your car.
awesome.
Go search your car.
So I was looking up your Facebook because I had to make sure you weren't like, you know,
Oh, no.
a bad person before we invited you into our home. Not gonna lie, you came on strong. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna do some research, you know, make sure she's like legit and you were a real person. But you have a real hatred towards mascots. I would like to talk more about this. I've never met somebody quite like you with the passion that you have. So why don't you tell the world?
This started when I was 4 years old. I was at the mall with my family. There was a big stuffed bear, like those ones at Valentine's Day that are massive. Mm-hmm. And I go up and hug it. I'm like, hello, Mr. Bear. And it hugs me back.
Oh my gosh.
It was not a teddy bear.
Oh no.
It was a human inside of there.
Oh my
And
gosh.
My memory is that teddy bear did not let me go. I don't know. I'm sure he just let me go. But my memory is that my mom was pulling on my arm and he was not letting me go.
Oh my gosh.
So from that time forward, I have had a major phobia of mascots. And when I go to a football game, which I love, I spend 90% of the time watching where the mascot is. And about 10% of the time actually watching the game.
Oh my gosh. So has your mom told you the story? Did the man take you and not let you go?
She doesn't remember that, but
Okay.
somehow that is in my memory. So I must have just been way more freaked out than I
Yeah, he had
actually
you
was.
a little too long.
Yes.
Yeah, probably pedophile. You know, we get
Yeah.
it.
Is this your first memory in life?
Yeah, probably.
Really?
I think those early memories only stick if it's something traumatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a memory from when I was 2 of a goat trying to kill me. It really happened. Like, I later was talking to my mom. I was like, I don't know. I have this really weird reoccurring dream. And I was like, of a goat that's pinned me up against a fence. And she's like, oh, yeah, that
Oh my
really
gosh.
happened to you when you were 2 years old.
And you vaguely remember it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, not vaguely. It's like, I could tell you right now that the goat was white and black. Like, I can tell you everything about the situation. And I was only 2 years old. But I
Wow.
think it's that trauma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
To this day, I don't like goats.
See? Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So have you had any further encounters with a mascot?
Yeah, so actually at the airport, like right as I was coming here, I went to Chick-fil-A in the airport and that stupid cow was there.
Oh my gosh.
And he was like going around actually scaring people.
Oh.
And so I get up to the register and I tell the lady, I'm like, listen, if he comes up behind me, you better tell him to stop because I don't know what I'm going to do.
You're like, I will kick a cow. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So, I mean, luckily he didn't come over, but the whole time my heart was like pumping. Like, oh my gosh, if he comes near me, I'm going to punch him.
You're like, I may get arrested at the airport.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to make it on this podcast.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. And this was like the most important thing to happen.
Exactly.
While you're in Denver.
Yes.
Is to get on this podcast.
Clearly, this is much more important than spending Christmas with your family, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, we are semi-famous, 1,400 people have listened to our podcast. Although we're losing membership, so I don't know like if we've become uninteresting or people just are like not caught up anymore. But yeah, there's a few people who will hear your voice because of this.
I don't know if that's good or bad. You know when you hear your own voice recorded and you're like, oh, geez. I feel bad for anyone who has to listen to me.
That's the way I felt probably the first 10 episodes.
Yeah, you do get used to it.
You do. But I was thinking, is that what my laugh sounds like? Because I annoy people sometimes with my laugh, particularly if you have to work close to me. And so I've always known that my laugh is a little bit annoying. And then when I heard it on the podcast amplified, I was like, my laugh should never be in public, But people
I totally
comment
disagree
all
with
the
that.
time about my laugh. Like, they love it, and I don't get it.
Here's the thing. If you don't love Rosie's laugh, this isn't the podcast for you. Like, that's one thing.
Yeah.
We can't do anything about that.
No.
If you don't love the laugh,
is.
goodbye.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't listen to our podcast. We can't change that.
I know. Trust me, I've tried, people. I've tried.
So, Marnie, that's really interesting that you have irrational fear. I'm going to call it irrational.
Yeah.
Irrational fear of mascots. Rosie, do you have any fears?
No.
I've got one.
Yeah.
I've got this fear of clowns, but not really of clowns, just of little clown figurines. If they're about a foot tall and figurines,
Listen,
I'm scared of them.
I can't help that Grandma willed me her clowns, okay?
The woman wills you one thing,
Seriously.
and it's a collection of ceramic clowns.
Marnie, I will show you the clowns when we're done here. They are
You don't
not
want to see them.
scary.
They'll haunt your dreams.
Oh my
I
gosh.
can't wait.
Oh my gosh. Okay, seriously, my grandma is on her dying bed. She's 95 years old. She tells me, Rosie, you have to keep the clowns. Nobody else is going to care for the clowns like you would care for the clowns. And I was like, listen, Clyde has been married to me for 12 years and he hates the clowns. Like, I don't think they're going to be treated well at my house either, And she goes, just promise me that you will keep the clowns safe. And I was like, all right, well, now I am the proud owner of 4-foot tall clowns.
4 foot tall?
They're 4 clowns that are a foot tall.
There are 4 that are a foot tall. No. If it was a 4-foot tall clown, I would be crapping my pants every time I saw it.
And seriously, I keep them on my little China hutch that Grandma also gave me. That's where they've lived my entire life. So I adopted all of her china, the clowns, and the hutch. So they still sit in the same spot that they did when she owned it. But anyways, every time I walk by it, Clyde has somehow defaced the clowns. Like, he'll put, like, little paper towels over their heads or, like, a sock. Every now and then I'll just find a sock, like, randomly over the clowns' heads. So it's basically become a joke that I'm constantly walking by fixing the clowns.
I'm trying to spare our children from having to look at these clowns. You keep uncovering them. They're hideous.
I made a promise to a 95-year-old dying woman that I would keep those clowns safe.
Safe as in like a box in the attic? That is safe in my mind.
Yeah, I like that she uses
gosh.
the word care for the clowns.
Yes.
But they're not living.
And the weird thing is, about 10 years ago, about the time Rosie and I first got married, a little bit after, someone actually stole those clowns from her.
Yeah.
And here's this
It was a big
85-year-old
deal.
woman gets a shotgun and goes and chases this lady down. Because she knew this lady, and the lady had taken her clowns for some reason. So part of the reason Rosie feels like I can't get rid of these clowns is because Grandma potentially could have gone to prison for this, for threatening another human if she didn't get her clowns back.
Well, here's the thing. Grandma had a friend. Now I feel like I have to explain why the clowns were stolen. Grandma had a friend who knew that the clowns were worth something because they're very old. And I think I probably could go sell them on eBay for like $500 a piece at this point.
Let's do it.
No.
Sold.
The clowns belong to us. Anyways, so this woman who befriended my grandma was slowly stealing things from her, and my grandma had no idea. Which my grandma didn't have a lot of things worth anything, so it was like not that big a deal. Until the clowns came up missing. And like I said, they've sat in the same spot for the last probably 50 years. And my grandma was like not having it. And yeah, she literally chased down her little lady friend with a rifle.
You don't get between an old lady
No.
with a shotgun
like,
and her clowns.
Click, click, where are you going with my clowns? Gladys.
Wait, what was that sound? Click, click?
I don't know what guns
I don't think that's what a shotgun makes. Marnie, you grew up on a farm. What sound does a shotgun make? There we go. That was better. Sorry, I had to call you out because no one knew what click, click meant.
Whatever, Clyde. You knew what I meant.
Nobody could see your hand signal
That's
over
true.
there.
That's true.
She just mimed cocking a shotgun.
And I said click, click, because that's how I believe guns sound.
Another thing you're not too familiar with.
No, which is weird because I grew up around guns, but mostly just handguns. You know, you don't really
Just
click,
point
click a
and shoot.
handgun, you know?
So one of my goals with this podcast is for everything I talk about to hopefully be relatable to people. And that was something that, I was worried about because I know I'm a little weird. Mm-hmm. But I've been surprised about the number of people that have said, oh, I relate to this or I relate to that.
Actually, people relate more to you than me, which is shocking.
I know. I've come to start to think I'm actually a little more normal than Rosie. So, as weird as that sounds. Because I'm a self-proclaimed idiot.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that, right? I get it. Now, Marnie, here's my question for you as a super fan, and this is really important for me, and I want you to be brutally honest.
That's right, Marnie. Give it all to him.
Because I need criticism. So far, the only person that, I can 100% guarantee is going to give me the honest truth is Claudia. But that's because, she likes being mean to me. So, every time an episode comes out, I call Claudia. I'm like, what do you think? And she's like, you're mispronouncing this. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm not perfect. So, here's my question to you, Marnie. Is this podcast relatable?
Yes.
And what kind of things are relatable? Or is there anything that you relate to that I've talked about that, is kind of a weird thing, but you're like, that was weird, but relatable?
Yeah. Yeah. So I actually thought about this a little bit before coming on the podcast. And I was kind of reflecting on all the ones that I've listened to. And I remember you talked about going on dam adventures.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That goes way back. You're talking episode 3. Now, I know you binged it all in, the course of a week.
That was like 6
all
months
fresh.
ago for us.
Yeah. Which is funny because a lot of times people will talk to me about stuff and I'm like, that was months ago. Okay, so let's recap real briefly. My dad was a dam engineer. So when we would go on family vacations, we were visiting dams. Okay, so why is that relatable to you?
Well, first of all, I hope your dad wasn't the engineer on this dam. It was the Teton Dam in eastern Idaho.
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
And it failed.
He actually was the engineer.
No. So my dad was involved in the Teton Dam failing. And really what his job was to really like calculate like how the water was going to affect things. So he was involved. I wouldn't say he was responsible.
He didn't build the dam.
No, he did not build the dam.
Okay, so I went to school in eastern Idaho, and we spent a lot of time at the Teton Dam because there was no water anymore. It was just something fun to explore. We would get old tires and gasoline, light them on fire, roll them down the spillway.
Oh my gosh.
And another day, we were walking around and we found this hole in the side of the dam. And I don't know why we thought this was a good idea, but we're like, hey, let's crawl in there and see what's in there.
Bad idea.
Oh
Bad
my
idea.
gosh.
So it's a tiny hole. Like, if you're claustrophobic, you don't go in there. But we all went in, and it opened up into these huge tunnels, really echoey. We're walking around, and we come up to a ladder. So we're like, okay, let's climb these ladders.
Oh my gosh.
And we're thinking that when we get to the top of these ladders, we're going to be on top of the dam. And so that's really exciting, climb up all these ladders, see the view from above. So we climb maybe 300 feet of ladders.
Oh my gosh.
To a welded shut door. And
oh my gosh.
I'm not going to say I know what hell is going to be like, but if you want to know, go climb 300 feet of ladder to a welded shut door. Like, you think that you're progressing, you think that life is going to be great when you get to the top, but turns out in hell...
It's just a welded shut door.
Exactly.
That must have been horrible because then you still have to climb down.
Yeah. So one of my cousins, in his hiking bag, I don't know why he had this, but he had bottle rockets and matches.
Oh my gosh.
So we lit bottle rockets and threw them down the 300 feet of ladder. It was very loud.
Wow.
I don't suggest it.
Wow.
Oh
and then we
gosh.
climbed down and that was our damn adventure. So
please, no swearing on the podcast.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I would never, ever, ever be that brave. First of all, I'm scared of heights and I'm risk averse. So the fact that you did both of those things and then on top of it set off bottle rockets, like that is my form of hell. Like I would never do any of those things. And I'm claustrophobic.
And the flaming tires.
And the whole thing is way more risky than I would ever be willing to participate in. That's crazy.
You are definitely a risk taker, Marnie.
I mean, she doesn't even look like a girl that would ever get in trouble. Like, this girl seriously looks like the girl next door. Like, she is very innocent looking. Like, you would never do a thing like that. I cannot believe it.
Well, it's all good. It's not like she burned the forest down or anything. You didn't burn the forest down, right?
No. They rolled down the spillway, and you could hear them splash at the end. So there was some water down there still. But
just, polluting drinking water.
Yeah,
not a big deal.
Yeah, with some old tires and gasoline. No big deal. And sometimes we would go down the spillway, and we would let the tire zoom past us. I don't recommend that because it can change course at any time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the spillway gets very steep very quickly. So I didn't do that so much. I didn't want to tumble to my death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary.
I get it.
That's really scary. So is the dam holding any water at all?
No. It totally failed and flooded the whole city.
Oh, perfect.
What city is that by?
It's near like Rexburg area.
So just eastern Idaho. I'm vaguely familiar with Rexburg. So eastern Idaho. I don't know. It's crazy. I know my dad had a part of that. And I believe they actually, when they realized the dam was going to fail, it was like there was nothing they could do. But they had a little bit of time to just kind of try to control where the water was going to go and stuff like that. I don't know a lot of details about it because my dad talks about it all the time, and I just, tune him out. Yeah, that's what I do. Like, anytime my dad's like, did I ever tell you about the dam that? And I'm like, okay, I lost interest. Stop
Let's not
talking,
just say
please.
it's dad you do that to. You do that to me all the time.
Well, there's certain things where you hear too much, and it just becomes like it just becomes a blank for
like
you.
the sound of my voice.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've been married, 12 years?
Yeah.
It happens.
The
Happens.
longest 12 years of your life.
It's felt like 50. But, Marnie,
Yeah.
how long have you been married? You're married, right?
Yes, I have been married for almost 4 years.
Ooh. You're kind of in
Wow.
that, sweet spot where you don't, hate each other yet,
Not
right?
yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully never.
Yeah, hopefully never. But here's what I'm going to tell you. When it comes...
The love is driven by a little bit of hate.
Oh, yeah. When it
Yeah.
comes, you got to just brace yourself and endure. Mm-hmm. And then if you can endure it, you'll get over it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Rosie and I, we had some hard times in
Oh,
different
yeah.
periods of our marriage. And
It's a roller coaster
Oh,
ride.
yeah.
Yeah.
And not so much within the first 4 or 5 years, but, then
No.
at some point, it gets a little tough. Mm-hmm. And then...
You power through, and
You
then
power
it's amazing
through.
on the other side.
I know, and then you're better
Yeah.
and stronger for it if
Yeah.
you can survive it. So I'm really excited for, the misery to come for
Oh,
you.
geez.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I'm just joking. I'm not saying everyone's experience is, the same. So are there any voices in your life that, like my dad with dams, you've just kind of tuned out? Like this person has talked about X, Y, and Z
He's
too
just
much.
talked about killing cats for so many years that I just can't hear it anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that was the person I thought of.
Yeah. I feel like it's usually a father
it
figure.
usually is a dad. Mine, on the other hand, I'm just so excited to hear him speak every time.
Oh, yeah, every time
I
your dad
love talking
speaks,
to my dad. Yeah,
You're like a little kid.
I am.
Just oh.
Tell me more, Daddy. But that's partly because I was abandoned as a child, so it's it's
Yeah.
whatever.
You're just glad to have
I'm just glad to have a dad back,
attention.
Yeah, my dad loves to talk about guns.
He definitely knows it's not a click click. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yep.
I get it.
Yep. In fact, today I opened a closet. I was lking for something at my parents' house, and I found 17 guns. I didn't find what I was looking for.
Oh my gosh, is he just a collector of antique guns, or
He just shoots a lot, competition shooting. So
long range, short range?
yeah, both. So I think he just likes to have a variety. To me, it seems like you just need a rifle and a pistol and you're good for what he does, but he likes to have options.
Yeah.
I'm not a big gun person. I have hardly shot a gun since I've been out of the military.
Yeah.
I kind
There
of
for
went,
a while, you didn't even want him around after the military.
Well, I didn't have a safe or any way to keep them safe
Yeah.
when we had small children. But I don't know. I'm not anti-gun,
No.
but I'm just it's not really my thing.
Dude, those people who love guns, though, they're for reals about guns.
Yeah.
They collect lots of them. They know everything about them, It's almost a hobby.
And my dad bought me a gun when I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
He bought me a rifle and he took me shooting with him.
Like a real gun or like a BB gun?
No, like a real 22.
Wow.
When I was 7. And he took
Yeah.
me shooting every week. And this guy came to the range one day. He was new. And he was like, I don't know if I can do this. Those targets look really far away. And I'm 7 years old and I'm hitting every single one.
Oh my
and he's
gosh.
like, oh, well, if she can do it, maybe I can
You have
too.
inspired others with your skill. Dude,
wow.
that's
And
awesome.
you said she looks all innocent.
I know. She sets tires on fire. She
She's
breaks
a
into
badass on the rifle
Yeah.
range.
When I was
She goes
7,
into-
not anymore.
She sees no trespassing signs and is like, yeah, I'm going to trespass, Oh my gosh.
That's
you
hilarious.
are a real risk taker.
I know. This has been a real surprise.
Yeah.
You are not the person I thought you were going to be, but in a pleasant
Even
way.
better.
I
We
know.
like you even more now. So speaking of all of that, do you have any idiot moments where you're just like, dude, I'm such an idiot?
Unfortunately, yes. But as your tagline, if you will, at the beginning of your podcast talks about we're all idiots, we
Yeah.
all do things.
Yeah, we don't judge here.
So when I was a senior in high school, I was in my math class. And we were talking about names that people have. And I don't know why I said this, but I told my teacher, I was like, do you want to know what the stupidest name is that I have ever heard? And he was like, yeah, okay. And I go, it's Jeffrey. And he's like, that is literally my name. And I had no idea. I mean, I should have known. His name is like on his door when you walk in. And I don't know why I hated that name so much. Like, maybe I knew a Jeffrey that really rubbed me the wrong way. I have no idea. But that was so embarrassing because then I had to go to his class every day for the rest of the year.
In the face.
I'm like, yeah, I hate your name. It is the stupidest name I've ever heard.
Oh my gosh. But when you are a teenager, you're just so excited to talk to people, I think. And you just say stupid crap all the time. You're sort of starting to figure out, how do I talk to people, you know? And you just throw crap out there, and that happened to be the crap you threw out there that day.
Yeah. It was highly embarrassing. So,
but she wasn't wrong. I mean,
no,
Jeffrey. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I actually literally hate that name too.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Like, if your parents don't have the foresight to give you a better name, you go by Jeff. You don't go by Jeffrey.
Yeah, for reals. I have an Uncle Jeff. He's like my favorite human being on the planet. But if he ever called himself Jeffrey, I'd be like, I'm going to throw something at your head right now.
We're done with this relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know there's no apologies, but hopefully there's not a Jeffrey listening because you might have just lost somebody due to my story.
Jeffrey, it's fine. You're an idiot.
Jeffrey,
your name sucks.
This is the reason you've never been able to make friends.
Yeah.
Stop going by Jeffrey. Go by Jeff.
And then Game of Thrones just totally ruined me on Joffrey.
Oh, that's Joffrey. Well, I don't even think Joffrey's a real name.
Joffrey is Jeffrey who wants to be fancy. Yeah. Let's be real.
Like, he thinks he's like sophisticated. Oh, I'm sorry. It's pronounced Joffrey.
Wait, how did he say that?
It's pronounced Joffrey. I don't know. You get these people with fancy accents that they think they can just make anything sound sophisticated.
I know.
Well, I can do that too. Hi, my name is Clyde. Clyde November.
I like how you went from like, I don't know, maybe English to like Scottish in like a second.
I don't know.
Honestly,
what you're talking
your
about.
only made up voice always turns to Scottish somehow. Like, I don't know. And the weirdest thing is you have no Scottish in you whatsoever.
No.
You just watched Braveheart
I've
way
watched
too
it
much.
way too many times.
You like copied the words word for word.
That's right.
Oh, my gosh.
It was the first accent I tried to master, you know. But
And the only, apparently.
Can we talk about one other thing?
yeah, sure. Anything you want.
Accents. Have you ever met those people that are from Chile, but they like to say that they're from Chile?
Yeah.
Like, they need to say it the right way.
Oh, yeah.
But then nobody else does that. It's only the people from Chile.
Or the people who have visited Chile and they want to be fancy.
Yes.
So I have a secret love for yard selling. I know this is a weird thing to like to do, especially when you have money. Like, you should not be shopping at yard sales anymore, but I love it so much. Yeah, I went to a yard sale last summer, and this lady was selling me a teapot. I also collect teapots. Mm-hmm. When I'm showing you the clowns, I will also show you the teapot collection. They're nearby. I buy this cutest little teapot I've ever seen, and she's like, yeah, it's from Chile or whatever. You know, I'm like, for reals? Like, that's how you just said that? Like, you went to Chile and bought this. And she had no accent. Like, she is straight up Denver person. Mm-hmm. But no, yeah, it was
It's
annoying.
acceptable if you're from there.
Sure.
But if you're not from there,
Yeah.
we're in America, just call it Chile.
Yeah.
And all the other ones.
Amen,
Well,
sister.
nobody else does it.
No.
It's only those ones.
It's like, we know you're fancy and you visited. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, and the most annoying person is someone who has visited Chile and their name is Jeffrey.
Yes.
Right? Like, that's the double. So
The double whammy.
there we go. I've just limited it down. The rest of you
man.
Jeffreys are decent.
Yeah. Uncle Jeff, I love you.
I served in Iraq, and Iraq actually has an American pronunciation and an Iraqi pronunciation. But like you said, I've never once heard someone correct someone, like all snobby-like. Mm-hmm. But here's a quiz. Do you guys know the Iraqi pronunciation?
No.
Is it Iraq?
Iraq. Iraq.
Rock?
Iraq.
Iraq.
Like the IR makes Iraq. So it's two syllables still, but the is its own syllable. Iraq.
Interesting.
I'm going to start being that douche. Just walks
Oh,
around
no.
telling people, I'm sorry, it's
no.
actually
Yeah. See, and my husband used to live in Hong Kong. He's not going to go around and say, I lived in Herngong. That's
Whoa.
the proper way to say it.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. I never even knew that.
Wow.
Say that one more time.
Herngong.
Wow. Whoever
Marnie
pronounces
has
it,
some knowledge in this brain.
whoever pronounces it that way needs some hooked on phonics.
Yes.
It's HONGKONG. Clearly.
Yeah. Are there any other accents that annoy you?
I don't think so.
No.
Chili is the one that really gets me because I hear it so much. But no, I
Why
don't
are
think
you
so.
meeting so many people that have been to Chile? I think I've met maybe like
Is there
two.
there might be like a whole clan of people in Pittsburgh and they just happen to live in the apartment complex that Marty
Yeah.
lives
Is there
in.
like a pipeline from Pittsburgh to Chile?
Yes.
That's
Oh
interesting.
my gosh.
You got to come to Pittsburgh so you can take the fast train to Chile.
Oh
I
my
don't know
gosh.
if I want to now.
Is Pittsburgh so much different than here culturally?
It is. They have their own accent, in fact.
Yeah.
You know how in the South they say y'all? Mm-hmm. Well, in Pittsburgh they say yins.
Yins.
Yeah, I don't really like that.
Like
Yin's
when-
been eating sandwiches
Yeah, like-
or what?
Yes. Yep. Like
Yins?
instead of saying you guys, it's yins.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Hey, it's really weird.
And if you're nosy in a conversation or to your neighbors or something, they say that you're being nebby.
Nebby?
Nebby.
Yeah, they have their own language there.
Wow.
So that's a little weird.
So what are some of the good things about being from Pittsburgh?
Mr. Rogers is from Pittsburgh. He's a pretty cool guy.
That's right.
Does his wife still live there?
She does.
Nice.
Have you ever met her?
Seen her?
I have met
Oh
her.
my gosh. Tell us all about it.
I went to an opera that Mr. Rogers wrote. And if you know anything about Mr. Rogers, he's a crazy guy.
Yeah.
He makes weird poems and stories. But I went to this opera and they were like, hey, Joanne Rogers is here.
Wow.
So I found her in the audience after and we took a selfie together.
Nice.
Wow.
So
Dude, that's awesome.
Congratulations.
the only celebrity I've ever met, aside from you guys.
Well, I hope we are celebrities someday.
I know.
We aspire to be.
Hopefully we are on the level of Joanne Rogers.
I mean, it's
Right.
going to take a minute, I think, to get there. Was
Which-
she like magical, mystical, or did she just seem like a normal old lady?
She was super nice.
Yeah.
She first she told me I was way too young to know about Mr. Rogers, but I watched it every day.
Yeah.
So
Well, when you grow up on a farm,
Yeah, what else is there to
There's
do?
not a lot of things to do besides PBS, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I watched Mr. Rogers a lot too, but I don't remember it. I kind of stopped about the time Ninja Turtles came out,
Yeah.
you know? Then I was like, why am I watching this old man talking about being like a good person when I could watch these turtles
Yeah.
kick people's butts?
I only had electricity from time to time, so like I knew who Mr. Rogers was, but it wasn't like I watched TV very much.
Yeah. Have you seen that movie about Mr. Rogers?
I haven't yet, but I'm seeing it on Saturday.
Nice.
I
Are you
won't-
going to see it at the Dollar Theater?
I don't know.
You
Is
renting
in
it?
Is it in the Dollar Theater now?
It's
It might
definitely,
be.
I mean, it's definitely
It's been out a
not
while.
in the
Yeah.
real theater anymore.
No, it might
but
still be.
I like how we call it a dollar theater. They actually charge you like $5 to watch movies
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I have no idea why we call it the dollar theater.
Because it used to be $1.
Yeah.
And to say the $5
It has
theater,
never been $1 since I've lived in Denver for the last 14 years.
Well, when I was a kid, it was $1 and then 50 cents on Tuesdays. It was pretty cool.
I think you can get in there for like $2 on a Tuesday. So maybe you wait for a Tuesday.
Or you get in there for free if someone's willing to open the back door.
Yeah.
We used to do that a lot when I was little. Like Boomer would buy a ticket and then
Marty
he'd go let
seems like the
everyone
kind of
in.
girl that would do
I
something
bet you've
like
done that before, haven't you?
I don't know if I have, but it's
And I
not a
did
bad
miss-
idea.
I did mispronounce your name just now. Marnie.
What'd you say?
I called her Marty. Straight
Marty?
to her face.
See, people do that a lot. They're
Yeah.
like, wait, what's your name?
You have a confusing name. It
Yeah.
makes my brain hurt.
Have you ever met
thank you.
Marty before?
I have never met anybody with your name before. And the only thing I can relate it to is Marty. So
from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Is that your reference? Because
Yes.
I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
bet.
no, Marnie, like your knees.
Yeah. I'm not the first to mistake your name.
That's okay. I forgive you,
disappointing.
Rosie.
Thanks so much.
Wait, don't apologize.
No.
And weren't we just talking about people that do something and think they're like original? So you just made this mistake thinking like, oh, I'm sorry
know.
I did this. And she's like, yeah, that's my whole life.
I did not think I was original. I actually immediately felt guilt as soon as I said it. And then I apologized on the podcast, and that's rule number 2. We never apologize. But I felt like it was worthy because she is our only super fan that has ever been on the show. And I'm
Only
very
super fan
excited
that
about
bought
this.
a ticket to come see us.
Yep.
Listen, her family lives like 2 blocks from here, so let's not give her too much credit.
Hey.
It was convenient.
I refuse to believe that. She's
Was
here
that
solely
just
for me.
super weird that we actually live fairly close to your family? Like,
Yeah.
when you first started listening to us, was that weird? You're like, oh, wait, Denver.
Yeah.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
Like,
and then you're looking
minute.
up our address. You're like, oh, wait, they live like just a few miles away.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Who
such
knew?
a small world. Like, that's the thing.
It is a small world.
All right, Marnie. It's time for Google searches, and I'm totally curious at the kinds of things that a girl from Pittsburgh Google searches. I'm sure it's probably the same as the crap that Clyde Google searches, but yeah.
Whoa, crap. Come on, everything I Google search, there's a legitimate
There's a
reason.
meaning for that?
Yes.
Okay. Why did you Google search, what does the letter D mean in shoe size?
Okay. We were trying to buy my husband shoes online, and it kept saying like 10D. Do you know what that means?
No, I have no idea. I have never heard of a D in a shoe size.
Yeah, like there's usually a narrow and a wide and a regular, and I honestly don't remember what the answer was. So you might just have to type that in again.
It wasn't important.
It wasn't helpful, whatever it was.
Marnie, you are actually in luck because you happen to be sitting next to a foot expert.
Yeah.
So here's the
Also,
thing.
he also is an expert in pink eye, just in case you have any
Yes.
questions.
Yep.
The only things I'm experts in are things I learned in the Army.
Yeah.
That's what I've come to realize. But here's the thing. The reason I'm a foot expert is because while I was in the Army, I burned my feet really bad, the bottoms of my feet. And I've had terrible feet ever since. Anyway, so I have to wear special shoes. So it's important to know what these things mean, right? So D represents the flexibility of a shoe. So if you grab a shoe, if it's a D, it means you could almost bend it in half.
Oh.
Like if you grab the toe of the shoe and the heel of the shoe and just squish them together, you could almost bend it in half, but it's a little more rigid. If it's an E, and that's what I have to wear. I have to wear E's. It is like completely flexible. You can pretty much bend it in half.
But D is pretty solid, right?
D is flexible, and depending on the kind of feet you have, like if you have unhealthy feet like me or like messed up feet, you need more flexible shoes. Otherwise, I just get extreme foot pain. So, anyways, lucky day for you that you were on the podcast with a foot expert.
I didn't even remember what it meant, but we bought the shoes. So
Nice.
I would.
You'll have to let us
yeah.
know how comfortable they are for him.
they were Toms. So
Oh.
I guess that kind of makes sense. I don't know.
Dude, I cannot believe you're married to a guy who wears Tom's shoes.
He never has before.
He's trying a new thing.
See, we had
Oh
a
my
gift card
gosh.
for Nordstrom Rack. They don't
That's
have a lot of
hilarious.
options.
Yeah, I see. Why did you Google search how many ounces are in a cup? Are we doing some measuring in your family?
Well, here's the stupid thing. I know how many ounces are in a cup. That's the easiest one.
It really is.
So
And maybe it was your husband. Like, maybe your idiot
Yeah.
husband got on your phone and Googled. Trust me, mine does it to me all the time.
it's clearly 8.
Yeah. The other day, Clyde got on my phone and Googled, what's the difference between a chipmunk and a squirrel? I'm like, are you serious right now?
When I need to Google something that I think you might make fun of me for, I don't do it on my phone
Yeah.
anymore. I didn't know you check your own history.
Of course I check it because I need to know what kinds of things you're looking into. Did you discover what the difference is between a chipmunk and a squirrel?
Yeah, but I don't remember. That was a while ago. I don't retain information. And here's the thing about Google. Because of Google, we don't retain information. So once upon a time, like our parents' generation, and I am impressed that you remember that it's 8. They used to know how many cups are in a pint, how many pints are in a quart, how many quarts are in a gallon, how many gallons are in a bathtub. I don't know. Anyways, so nowadays, why would you memorize stuff like that when you can just Google it?
Yeah.
Right? So, Rosie, here's my question, because I do know this because I'm a 5th grade teacher and I have to teach this crap. How many cups are in a quart?
4.
How many pints are in a quart?
3.
Incorrect.
2.
2 is correct.
Nice job, Marnie.
All right, here's one. How many cups in a gallon?
8.
Rosie.
Well, there's 4 quarts in a gallon.
Correct.
There are 4 cups in a quart, right?
Possibly.
So, is it 16 cups in a gallon?
I think so. I think that's right. I don't know.
Dang, the girl is good.
Yeah.
Somebody's going back and like, there are actually 24.6 cups in a gallon.
I don't know if we're ever going to make it out to Pittsburgh. I mean, we want to come visit you at some point.
Yeah.
But, it's expensive. I don't know how you afforded to fly out here.
Yeah.
But I have been to Pennsylvania, and I went to Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Have you been there?
I haven't yet, but I know there's the Hershey Park there.
The
Is that where
Hershey
you
Park,
went?
that's why I went, right? And they have these singing animatronic cows, which maybe you wouldn't be
Creepy.
scared of because they're not a mascot. It's just like there's no human inside. Are you
Yeah, they're
scared?
not gonna turn on me at any moment.
Yeah, unless you believe in I don't know. Have you ever seen a movie where the robots come alive?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Terminator or something. So they could do that, but they sing this catchy song that I have had stuck in my head for before I married or even met Rosie. So
Yeah.
14, 15 years.
Are you gonna sing it for us?
It goes like this. There's this voice where
Only
the
an
guy...
idiot would do this for you, Marnie.
Yeah, and the fact that I remember this so clearly, there's this voice,
Oh my gosh.
and Hershey's going to come after me for revealing their secret here. But you walk through this thing, and this voice goes, "What's the secret to Hershey's recipe?" And then these singing cows pop out of the barn and
Oh my
go,
gosh.
"It's the milk chocolate, Hershey's milk chocolate. It's the milk chocolate." And they just sing it over and over and over.
Isn't that kind of obvious?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It is chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they by chance mascots? Like people dressed as cows?
No, they were definitely animatronic. Like the eyes would randomly move, but you could hear the zzz, zzz, zzz as they're moving. And not good animatronics, updated
my
robots or anything.
gosh.
We're talking 1970s Chuck E. Cheese animatronics.
Yeah.
Not good. And
Not
the
good.
songwriting was pretty poor too, but I cannot get that song out of my head. Every time someone says Hershey's or even milk or chocolate, that song pops in my head. It's like a disability that I have. I don't know. Have you ever had a jingle stuck in your head for... You didn't grow up with a
No.
lot of TV, so
Yeah.
jingles were probably not a big thing in your life.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Marnie?
I watched a lot of Arthur.
Okay.
Am I too young? Did you watch Arthur?
Arthur was around when I was little. I remember Arthur.
Okay. Well, he was really excited that he got a library card. Have you heard this song?
No. I didn't actually watch Arthur. I was aware that he was
He
alive.
just knows that he existed.
I was on Ninja
Yeah.
Turtles.
Yeah, I'm a little young. So the song goes, "Having fun isn't hard when you've got a library card."
Gosh.
That's
Dude,
the
I
song that
love
is
it.
always in my mind.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. I've also got the Juicy Fruit song from the
gosh.
1989 commercial where they're skiing in the hills or whatever. It's like, juicy fruit is gonna move ya. I
Doesn't
can't.
it say juicy fruit? It goes right through you.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't
Goes
sound
right
very
through
good.
ya.
My
And
gosh.
juicy fruit is famously the gum where the flavor dies within like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I love the flavor of juicy fruit, but I also hate it because then you get that yucky gum flavorless taste in like 30 seconds.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
I don't know. Grab a stick, pull it out. The taste is gonna move you about. Juicy fruit is gonna move ya. Get the taste, it gets right through ya. Juicy fruit, the taste is gonna move ya. I know you didn't ask for the full song,
Gosh.
but
And now Juicy Fruit sues us for having
no,
that.
I am promoting.
Yeah, this is an
Like,
ad.
Exactly. They're going to be like, what's with the sudden boost in sales? Like 13 more people bought juicy fruit than normal.
Oh my gosh, Clyde, I love you so much, but
Thank
you are
you.
such an idiot.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. It has been such a pleasure having a super fan here. You weren't weird or anything,
Oh,
which was
geez.
good. Like, even when you came in, you were a bit timid, and I was like, wow, for a super fan, she's a little timid, but it was just so awesome to have you on the show. And thank you
Thank
for
you.
listening and for being a super fan, spreading the word and joy to your friends.
Absolutely.
I don't think timid's the right word. I think introverted, right?
Yeah.
Would you say you're introverted?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Were you nervous, like, as you were walking up our stairway? Were you thinking, like, maybe I should turn around and go home?
I've been nervous for days. I can't even sleep at night. Okay, it's to that level.
Oh my gosh. Well, now that it's over, hopefully you can get a good night's sleep.
She's going to sleep like a baby for, 24 hours straight.
You're going to sound awesome, and fans are going to love you.
I hope so.
All right, Marnie, we're about to end this episode. So the question is, are you going to pull a Claudia and like just burst in our
Yeah.
ending?
No, I'm an introvert.
Awesome.
All right. So, Claudia, I know you're listening, and if you're not, you're dead to me. I want you to learn from Marnie's
Yeah.
example. This is how you
She's
guess.
a great example.
I know. This is how you guest on a show and you don't talk. All right. You ready
She
to
took
go?
our rules seriously. Like, she didn't break a single
yeah.
rule the whole time. Probably because they're written right in front of her face. Like, these are the rules
Yep.
of the podcast.
We've got them up on the wall now. All right. You ready to go, Marnie?
Yes.
All right. Here we go. Claudia, pay attention. Thank you for tuning into the podcast today.
That's right. Don't forget you can listen to our podcast on any of your favorite platforms.
Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Make sure you follow us.
Visit our website at ilovemyidiot.com.
Recommend our show to someone you love or recommend our show to someone you hate. Who cares? We just need more listeners.
That's right. And don't forget to tell your idiot that you love them.
I love my idiot.
And I go, it's Jeffrey. And he's like, that is literally my name.